The dinosaurs are back, but this time, evolution took a darker path. There's something magnetic about the idea of science resurrecting ancient beasts, of DNA slipping through the fingers of ethics to reawaken creatures who once ruled the Earth. Jurassic World Rebirth, set to erupt onto screens in July 2025, knows exactly how to bottle that primal awe and terror. But rather than rely solely on nostalgia or recycled chaos, it does something rare for a blockbuster. It recalibrates the formula with precision, grace, and just enough genetic tampering to keep us riveted. The world after Dominion is no longer a playground for dinosaurs. It's become something more desolate, more remote. Our beloved prehistoric protagonists are pushed into isolation, clinging to life in wild sanctuaries and abandoned islands. Enter Zora Bennett, played with steely resolve and shadowy charisma by Scarlett Johansson. She's not your typical dino wrangler. She's covert ops, cloaked in mystery, carrying a past you'll want to unravel as much as the island's secrets. The mission? Recover the biological keys to a miracle drug, locked within the DNA of the largest surviving dinosaur species from land, sea, and sky. Sounds noble on the surface, but let's not kid ourselves. In every Jurassic tale, behind the curtain of science lies commerce, and behind commerce, chaos. Zora's mission quickly spirals as the team lands on an island that's less paradise, more nightmare. Joining Johansson are Mahershala Ali, exuding command as Duncan Kincaid, and Jonathan Bailey, a paleontologist whose moral compass will be tested more than once. They're accompanied by a cast of characters as richly layered as the prehistoric sediment they're metaphorically digging through. Rupert Friend, Manuel Garcia Rolfo, and Luna Blaze help round out a diverse ensemble that adds heart and unpredictability to the unfolding story. But it's not just the humans that demand our attention, it's the monsters they encounter, or rather, the experiments. One word, Distortus. Imagine a tyrannosaur, mutated beyond recognition, 6 limbs, elongated skull. Think Lovecraftian nightmare fed through a bioengineering lab. This isn't nature, this is hubris made flesh, and it's not alone. The island holds the rejected, the broken, the unholy hybrids that never made it into the glossy park brochures, failed creations, forgotten by their makers, thriving in the shadow. It's here that the story finds its teeth, and not just in the literal sense. These creatures aren't just threats, they're symbols of everything the Jurassic saga has warned us about. What happens when we push the boundaries of science without anchoring them in conscience? What's the cost of playing God when the forgotten monsters decide to reclaim the stage? There's a shipwrecked civilian family too, because of course there is. Stranded, vulnerable, caught between nature's vengeance and corporate greed, the convergence of these storylines, the mercenary mission, the innocent bystanders, the island's evolutionary mayhem, offer something the franchise hasn't always mastered: emotional depth without sacrificing spectacle. And speaking of spectacle, Gareth Edwards, who knows how to make monsters loom large and meaningful, takes the director's chair. His style is grand but grounded. There's something tactile in how he frames terror, something that reminds you that awe and dread share the same genetic code. This isn't digital chaos for the sake of thrills. It's carefully cultivated tension, measured destruction, and beautifully orchestrated fear. Alexandre Desplat, master of melodic mood, scores the film. His music lingers like the footprints of a brachiosaurus. Elegant, resonant, impossible to ignore. He honors the iconic themes of the past while introducing motifs that speak to the film's darker, more introspective tones. But what makes Rebirth truly worthy of its title isn't the new dinos or the upgraded tech. It's the fresh philosophical ground it walks on. There are whispers that the pharmaceutical company's motives are anything but noble. The idea of dinosaurs being harvested not just for cloning, but for commodification, biomedical warfare, corporate monopoly, immortality for the few is where the story cuts deep. And in those layers, fan theories bloom. Could this film be a Trojan horse? Not just a Jurassic sequel, but a prelude to something far larger, perhaps even a cinematic universe branching into biopunk territory? Some fans speculate Zora may have ties to previous InGen operatives. Others wonder whether this is the beginning of a darker evolutionary line, one where the next threat isn't dinosaurs, but human-dinosaur hybrids, whispered in past lore and possibly surfacing here. All I'll say is the trailer doesn't show everything, and what it doesn't show may be the most exciting part. So if you thought the saga ended with Dominion, think again. Jurassic World Rebirth isn't just a return, it's a reckoning, and it's one I'll be watching with a mix of wonder, horror, and popcorn. If you enjoyed this dive into Dio territory, give us a roar in the comments. What's your theory on Distortus Rex? Is this pharmaceutical expedition just a mask for something more diabolical? Like, comment, and subscribe to keep Green Ground thriving. And as always, more fossils and facts await in the description below. Stay curious, stay cautious, and never assume the footprints are from something extinct.